Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Celia and then Cassandra would like to introduce you to Lucas Makos, a very strong candidate for the Misplaced Brain of the Year award. Before we go searching for this misplaced brain, a few people have asked me recently how they can support the channel. Well, there are lots of ways you can do that. You can hit the like button, you can share the videos with as many people as possible, you can buy some of the new merch. The link is in the description box below. You can tap on the thanks button underneath any video you've really enjoyed and make a small donation. You can go to buymeacoffee.com/romancescammers and buy me a tea, because I'm not a coffee drinker. If you catch a live or a premiere, there's usually a button underneath the comments section where you can buy either a super chat or a super sticker. You can buy either of Annie's books, Denise or Serafina, on Amazon. And if you do, or you already have, do please go back and leave a rating. Again, the links are in the description box below. Believe me, I really appreciate any donations. Every time somebody hits a like button, every time somebody makes a comment, and every time somebody shares, it helps the channel grow. And if I'm being honest, the small income that I make from this channel is one of the things that helps motivate me to keep it going. And now I'll return you to the story of the missing brain. "Hello," he said. "How's your day? And how's the weather over there?" "It's raining," said Celia. "Oh, really?" he said. "I'm Lucas Makos from Germany, but I live in Carolina, Greenville, currently working here on the Northern Sea off Scotland. Where are you from, and what may I call you?" "I live in Durham," said Celia, "in the northeast of England." "Where are you off Scotland?" he said. "Northern Carolina," replied Celia. "Really? How long have you been here on Facebook?" he asked. "Why on earth would you want to know that?" said Celia. "Where is North Carolina? Is it one of the shipping areas?" "Yeah," replied our man, who was clearly suffering from the loss of his brain. "I woke over there." "You were transported overnight?" said Celia. To which our man replied, "I work in an oil and gas drilling company. I am a general drilling contractor. I do work in bases contract. Now I'm working with Maersk_Line_ drilling reg here on the platform. I have 30 workers here on the sea working with me on the platform on the North Sea of Scotland." "I'm not sure how that's even remotely related to what I said," replied Celia. "I'm telling you about my occupation," he said. "So," replied Celia, "I'll assume you magically teleported while you were asleep and woke up to find yourself on an oil rig in North Carolina, somewhere off the coast of Scotland." In reply to Celia saying you were transported overnight, he replied, "No, it's my decision." "Oh," said Celia, who'd actually misread what he said and thought he'd said, "No, it's not my decision. Does teletransportation have to be a conscious decision? Were you kidnapped by aliens?" To which our man replied, "What do you do for a living?" "So," said Celia, "you're on an oil rig in North Carolina, which is somewhere off the coast of Scotland. I work in the admissions department of Durham University. Which part of the North Sea is South Carolina in?" Our man did what they often do and disappeared. "Can't you remember where you are in the North Sea?" asked Celia the next morning. "Hello," he said. "Good morning," she said. "Yesterday," he said, "all what I say was a mistake." "A mistake?" asked Celia. "Yeah," he said. "OK," she said. "Do you want to try again?" "Why did you write me back?" he said. "I want you to be honest here." "What do you mean? I thought we were having a conversation," said Celia. "Sure, but not after my mistake. I couldn't believe you wrote me back." "I don't know which bit was a mistake yet. You said all." "Yesterday, a friend of mine gave me a drink I don't know about, and after drinking, I went off. The location I told you about were wrong." "Are you ever going to tell me the truth?" she asked, "or just babble on about being wrong?" He tried calling her, but he wouldn't actually speak. "I'm not interested in talking to you if you won't speak," she said. "Are you playing silly games with me?" "No," he said. "Then why did you call if you won't talk to me?" "I'm in North Sea of Scotland, and not Northern Carolina," he said. "Why did you call if you won't talk to me?" she asked again. My phone were inside my pocket, he said. I don't know I was calling you. Sorry. Try again, said Celia. Your phone was in your hand. You were chatting to me. I know. I'll call you. Then you can talk. That'll be fun, won't it? Yeah, I put it inside my pocket, he said. So she tried calling him. Unsurprisingly, he didn't answer. If I may ask, are you married or kids? He said. Your phone's in your hand now, said Celia, so now you can answer it. And no ridiculously stupid excuses about not being allowed to answer. Why all this misunderstanding, he said, having not answered. OK, said Celia, if you won't answer, I'm not interested in talking to you. Goodbye. No misunderstanding. You're perfectly capable of answering the call, so one final chance. Answer now, or go away. We are not allowed to make call here, he said. She tried calling him again. I told you, no ridiculously stupid excuses about not being allowed to answer. You're clearly just a stupid kid playing silly games, so goodbye. I really like a woman who can understand me, he said. You mean one who knows you're a stupid kid playing silly games? Go and play with kids your own age, said Celia, and probably older than your mother. We're not allowed to make call because it can lead to explore, he said. How old are you? Don't talk meaningless nonsense, said Celia. None of your business, and you know as well as I do that you can make phone calls on any street corner where there's a signal. Why did you message me again if you don't have any interest chatting with me? He said. Because I thought I was talking to a mature gentleman, replied Celia, not a lying street kid. Friendship don't start this well, he said. No, replied Celia. Lying is a really bad start to a friendship. I'm very sorry at first, he said. No, you aren't, said Celia. My apology now, he said. Too late, replied Celia. OK, he said. You need to reconsider your life choices, she added. Goodbye. Do you want to block me, he said. I have did that already, and I'm looking a good wife here. I know I had make a lot of mistakes here, and it will be hard for you to believe me. He tried calling her. She ignored him. I'd do anything to please a lady who is interested chatting with me. That's why I just take the risk to call you. But you ignored my call. I was outside hanging up some washing, said Celia. You're too young to get married. Go back to school. Celia, calm down. Let's chat now. OK, call me now. I'm here, she said. I'm a widower with one daughter, and I'm 55-year-old, he said. Don't believe you, replied Celia. Call me. OK, wait, he said. And so he called her. Unfortunately, I forgot to turn on the screen recording software. Sorry about that. However, at the end of the call, which clearly went really well, Celia said, brain-dead, idiotic, moronic, lying, thieving scammer, grow up and get a job. It's idiots like you that give Nigeria such a bad name. You don't want you are looking for, he said. You should be ashamed of yourself, said Celia. I'm not, he said. You aren't ashamed of yourself, said Celia. Well, you should be, idiot. You don't know anything, he said. Don't blame me. Oh, that's right. Don't take responsibility for your own actions. Blame someone else, idiot. OK, he said. Let's make this legit. Now, make my day, said Celia, and tell me you're a Christian. Yeah, you caught me, he said. I'm a Christian. No, you aren't, said Celia. That's another lie. I accept, he said. I'm loyal to you now. Bollocks, said Celia. And I want to be your legit friend, he said. Forget the plan B sob story, said Celia. I'm sorry. I still love you. Please forgive me. I'm not trying to scam anyone else. You want to see my face? He asked. No, said Celia. OK, he said. Goodbye, she said. Grow up and go back to school before you end up in prison. Why are you still chatting with a scammer? He asked. I don't have parents who will do that for me. He tried calling her. She ignored him, said go away, and blocked him. Undaunted, and on the same day that Celia blocked him, our man sent a friend request to Cassandra. Hello, how's your day? And how's the weather over there? He asked. Good morning, replied Cassandra. How was your night? He asked. I tossed and turned all night, she said. How's yours? Mine was awesome, he said. That's good. I'm Lucas Makos from Germany, he said, but I live in Carolina, Greenville, currently working here on the Northern Sea of Scotland. What may I call you? And where are you from? I live near Bury St Edmunds in England, she said. I'm sure you can see my name. But where is Caroline Greenville? Sure, Cassandra. That's a nice name, he said. Thank you, she replied. I'm new here on Facebook, he said. How long have you been using Facebook? I have no idea, replied Cassandra. Why do you want to know? And of course the reason they asked that is because they're trying to find out whether they're talking to a fellow scammer with a new account. Like I said, I'm new here, he said, and I don't know much about here. Where is Caroline Greenville? She asked, having deliberately misread his typing of Carolina Greenville. Cleveland, he said. Well, unless I'm mistaken, Cleveland's in Ohio, and Carolina is, well, Carolina. But what would I know? I don't live in the US. Hope we can make a good friendship together here on Facebook, he said, if you don't mind. Are you married with kids? No to both, replied Cassandra. I'm not married and I don't have kids. I can't find a place called Carolina Greenville in Cleveland. Is it a suburb? I'm a widower, with one daughter, he said. How old are you? Why are you ignoring my messages, dear? Because I don't spend my life glued to my device, replied Cassandra. I do have other things to do. Why are you ignoring my questions, dear? I can't find a place called Carolina Greenville in Cleveland. Is it a suburb? I'm 62. Yeah! It's a small community. Sorry if I ignored your message. What do you do for a living? I run the family estate, she replied. Which part of Cleveland is Caroline Greenville in? I still can't find it on the map. Perhaps you could mark it on a map of Cleveland and show me. I find it so fascinating learning where places I've not heard of are. I can't find it on map now, he said, because my sign here is very poor. It can't go to the extend. I work in an oil and gas drilling company. I'm a general drilling contractor. I do work in bases contract. Now I'm working with Maersk Line Company. Drilling reg here on the platform. I have 30 workers here on the sea working with me on the platform on the North Sea of Scotland. At least tell me where it is in the city, replied Cassandra. Northern part, southern, central, western, eastern. You have a good job, dear, he said. It suits me, replied Cassandra. At least tell me where it is in the city. Northern part, southern, central, western, eastern. Northern, he said. Okay, replied Cassandra. Which part of Scotland are you near? St Andrew, he said. Okay, how long have you been there? My contract here is 6 months, but I have 3 months left. What are your hobbies, interest, lifestyle, religious belief, and plans for life? Are you busy? He tried calling her, but she didn't hear him. I was in the kitchen making a sandwich, she said. I didn't hear the Kindle ring. I'll call you back. I just called to know if you're online, he said. So she tried calling him, and of course he didn't answer, because we know what happens if he actually answers, because that's what Celia did to him. I'm online, so you can answer me now, she said, and tried calling him several times. Please stop cutting the call. That's extremely rude and most ungentlemanlike. Cassandra, I will prefer us to chat on Hangouts, he said. It was your idea to call, so I'd like to speak to you, please, she said. Let's share pictures, he tried. Or were you planning to rudely cut me off if I answered? She said. Actually, we're not allowed to make call here, dear. I just called to know if you're online. Obviously you are, because you called me, she replied. I thought you were on an oil platform. My nephew's son works on an oil platform. We talk to him regularly. Anyway, if you refuse to talk to me, I guess we'll have to text instead. Thank you for understanding, he said. Do you use Google Hangouts? I can do, she replied, and gave him her email address. Okay, he said. I'll message you on Hangouts now. And so, of course, they moved to Hangouts. Over on Hangouts, Cassandra said, found you. Which oil platform are you on? Maersk Drilling and Oil and Gas Company, he said. When you're done in the kitchen, just message me, dear. No, replied Cassandra. What is the name of the platform you're on? As we all know, all oil platforms have names. You already told me which company you work for. My nephew's son is on Lady Godiva. He told me they're all named after women. That isn't true. She was just trying to see what he'd say. Moller, he said, and he sent a photograph of a man. I can't wait to see who I'm chatting with, he said. I'm quite sure my photo is on Facebook, replied Cassandra. I hate selfies. I don't understand why people are so obsessed with them. I want to see your current picture, if you don't mind. he said. If you want to see me again, you're welcome to video call me, replied Cassandra. Just send me any of your pictures, but not the one on Facebook, he said. As I said, if you want to see me again, you're very welcome to video call me. In fact, I'll call you now. Hold on. Oh, are you on chat or Hangouts? It's very difficult to make call here, he said. And also, my company doesn't allow call. Okay? So she tried calling him, and of course he ignored her. I guess you don't really want to see me, she replied. Let's try to understand each other, as a friend, he said. Anyway, I don't change, she replied. You can look at my photo on Facebook. Okay, and here we go. What are your favourite foods? Where do you want to know? Are you thinking of cooking something and sending it to me? She asked. I do like a man that can cook, you know. Sure, I'm good in cooking meal. I'm not sure how you'll get it here, she said. When my wife was still alive, I do prepare dinner for her, he said. I'm sure she appreciated that, she replied. I can't cook here, he said. Yeah, my favourite foods are piggle, which I presume meant pickle, vegetable, and salad and rice, fish, and vague. What is vague? Asked Cassandra. I mean, vegetables, he said. A few, replied Cassandra. I googled it and came up with the most ungentlemanly-like answer. Oh, really? He said. Yes, really, she replied. How big is your extended family? He asked. Just a sec, my phone's ringing. Well, it really was. My extended family, not very large, she said when she came back. My brother was only 18 when he had my nephew, and I haven't seen him for years. My nephew is 30. I have 8 cousins, 3 on Daddy's side of the family and 5 on Mummy's side. As for my family, he said, I have lost my parents when I'm young, and I'm the only child of my parents. I and my kid is all I have in my life now. What are the holidays like for you and your family? He asked. What do you mean? What are the holidays like for you and your family? She asked. Mine are fine. Without doubt, he moved on. Do you really believe that people find their soulmate through online? Are you busy? Are you conducting a survey? Asked Cassandra. How on earth would I know? And you still haven't told me the name of the platform you're on. I see no reason why I should answer your questions if you won't answer mine. I told you, my great-nephew's on Lady Godiva, and he tells me they're all named after women. Hello, dear. How are you doing? He asked. I already told you everything about my work, and all oil drilling company are not the same, okay? Don't be rude. If you don't want to chat with me, you can look for someone else, okay? Don't be rude, replied Cassandra. You are joking, I assume, good sir. Please read that question you asked. I assume you copied and pasted it from somewhere, because I'm at a loss to know how you expect me to answer it. I presume that it is you that have experience with looking for their soulmate through online, so I presume that you would be in a better position to answer such a question. Perhaps you'd care to impart your own wisdom by answering that question yourself. I never copy any questions, said our offended scammer. Okay, I will answer the question. I love asking questions to know about someone. Why can't you answer my question? And you keep asking one question, over and over, even when I give you the answer. That's because you haven't yet answered it, mate. Yes, of course I do believe that people can find their soulmate online if they have faith and they're ready to love one another. I believe people can find their soulmate online. I do believe in soulmates. I don't want our friendship this way, okay? Let's give ourselves trust, understanding, respect, honesty. And then, having said that he never copies and pasted, he copied and pasted. Trust is what makes everyone realise that you're always there for them. Faith is what makes everyone realise that you are always there to help them in case they need some help. Love makes not everyone, but the only one in your life who is special. Think that you are always there for her, to be with her, to make her realise how much you really love her. Without honesty, here we go, we've heard this one before, love gets unhappy, and without trust, love gets unstable. Love is a wonderful gift. Trust in it. Believe in it. Give it, and it will be returned to you to give again and again. Hope you understand my point. I want you to share your opinion about what I just said. Whatever, replied Cassandra. I just want you to get everything I'm saying, he said. Like I said, I love asking questions. Hope you don't have any questions with that. How's your night? Hope you slept well last night. I tossed and turned all night, replied Cassandra. Really? So what are your plans for today? I need to mow the bottom field. Are you not going to church, he said. This was obviously a Sunday morning. No, replied Cassandra. I assume you aren't either. I have been a Christian since age 10, he said, growing up in a, guess what, Roman Catholic church. I've tried to live as the Lord wants me to live, but you failed miserably, mate, because I don't think the Lord wants you to scam. But certainly have lots of room to grow. That's very true, especially in my prayer and Bible reading. My relationship with the Lord could be a lot closer. It certainly could. But most people that know me would consider me as religious. That's in quotes. And know that I have pretty conservative values. Unfortunately, honesty and truth are not two of those. I'll assume that's a long-winded and unnecessarily verbose way of saying no, replied Cassandra. Hello, Ellie said. What do you most like to do on a day off? I rarely get a day off, replied Cassandra. I was at the horse show last weekend, judging the Shetland pony class and the Shire horse class. The summer, it is to go swimming, or rather float around in the pool with a good book to read and a cool drink. I like to play volleyball, read, visit with family and friends, movies, or dining out. If you could accomplish only one thing during the rest of your life, what would it be? Well, that was a red rag to a bull, wasn't it? To find a man who can have a proper, interesting, intellectual conversation. What about you? Oh, really? He said. I threw as much. Well, you threwed correctly, replied Cassandra. Getting in good enough shape to get to the top of one of the 14ers without severe injury to myself, he said. I have no idea what that means, replied Cassandra. What do you like about your body or appearance? He asked. Of course, that's exactly the kind of question you ask a lady you've just met online. OFGS, replied Cassandra. Stop asking ridiculously mindless, stupid questions. You're upset again, he said. I told you, replied Cassandra. I like a man who can have a proper, interesting, intellectual conversation, not one who's working his way down a list of 20 stupid questions to ask your potential girlfriend online. Yes, I am upset, and this is your last chance. Remind where you work and what you do. I've forgotten as you've worked your way down your brainless list. Why are you so rude, he said, and don't give me last chance, okay? Because you are a brain-dead idiot, replied Cassandra. You have this last chance. Remind me where you work and what you do. You can stop chatting with me if you want, he said. I don't take insult, okay? Clearly you're unable to have a proper conversation, replied Cassandra. If you won't remind me where you work and what you do, I'm out of here, and I don't talk to brain-dead idiots working their way down lists of idiotic questions. You're acting wind, he said. You can't even type 4 words that make sense, can you? Goodbye, replied Cassandra. You will remain single all your life, he said, on the 24th of July. But he reappeared again, on the 4th of August, on Facebook. It's very important to start your day with a positive affirmation, he said. You are the greatest gift of the universe. You are loved and appreciated. You are unique and beautiful. I know this day will bring you a lot of happiness. Good morning. How was your night? I found quite a lot of scammers returning just recently, sometimes after several months. Hopefully, that means that more potential victims are getting wise to their tactics and fewer people are falling for the scams. I hope that's what it means. May I remind you of your last message on Hangouts, replied Cassandra, in case your addled brain is having memory issues. And she copied and pasted the bit where he'd said, You will remain single all your life. I can't imagine why you would think I want to talk to someone as rude as you. My apology. I'm very sorry, he said. I should hope so, replied Cassandra. I'm really, really sorry, he said. Good, replied Cassandra. I believe we can work this out. We can try, she said. Have you expect my apology, he said. You have apologised, replied Cassandra. What did you think I was expecting? I mean, accept my apology, he said. Okay, replied Cassandra. Yes, so long as it doesn't happen again. Sure, I promise you, but you have to understand, I love asking questions, because that is the only way we can know more about each other, so long as you have a proper, mature adult conversation, and don't ask the sort of childish questions a teenage boy would ask. Okay, I'll text you on Google Chat, he said. I already messaged you on Google Chat, and over on Google Chat, he continued. Hello, happy to have you here again, dear. What are you doing now? I'm having a quick sandwich, replied Cassandra. Then I need to go and check on the sheep. What are you doing? Just chatting with you before you back to work, he said. So tell me, how long have you been using Google Chat? And who is the first person that introduced you to Google Chat? I have absolutely no idea, replied Cassandra. Why do you even want to know? Nothing, but I know you not the first person you are chatting with here. What does that mean? Replied Cassandra. I don't talk to myself on Hangouts. I mean, apart from me, you are still chatting with other people, right? Who I talk to is none of your business, replied Cassandra. I'm sure I already told you I would like a proper, mature, adult conversation. So tell me, how's your work? And how if the economy going over there? He said. If all you want to do is ask silly questions, then you can go away, replied Cassandra. You're just copying pasting questions from some ridiculous list of silly questions to ask a lady online. I want a conversation. That's your last chance. Here you go again, friend, he said. Please let us not have misunderstanding between ourselves. No misunderstanding, replied Cassandra. I've made it perfectly clear that I would like a proper, mature, adult conversation. If you can't or won't do that, I have no interest in talking to you. I never copy any questions, okay, he said. And why did you think I will do such things? If you're genuinely writing those for yourself, then I suggest you think very, very, very carefully about what you're asking and why you're asking. And don't give me last chance, he said. That was definitely your last chance, she replied. Never, he said. Tell me about your work, she asked. Let me free, okay? You can also ask me a question, he said. Question? Bring conversation. I just asked you to tell me about your work, she replied. I already told you before, he said. Let not be rude to each other. No, let's not, replied Cassandra. Tell me what you're doing at work now. I understand most questions is your personal life, but I'm not here to hurt you, he said. Tell me what you're doing at work now. I work as a contractor in oil and drilling company, Maersk Line. You know our work here, base under the sea, drilling out crude oil and use it to produce other things. You can go through my post on Facebook and see some pictures for yourself. I asked what you're doing at work now, replied Cassandra. What did you actually do this morning? What other things do you produce? You can check it on Google, said our man, who had no idea. If you really want to know everything, or ask your nephew. What on earth are you talking about? Replied Cassandra. My nephew wasn't on your rig this morning. I thought I was talking to an experienced rig engineer. Clearly I'm not. I'm at my break time, having my lunch, so I'll be going back to work any time from now. Good, replied Cassandra. Don't bother coming back. I've had enough of you. You clearly aren't anywhere near a rig. But you said your nephew also. Son work in rig. He does, replied Cassandra, but how on earth would he know what you did at work this morning? And I'm talking to you, so why can't you tell me what those other things are? Every morning we do make arrangements for our equipment and tool, he said. Oh, you do you? Replied Cassandra. What does that mean? Why do you have interest about my work? He asked. Because I'm interested in you as a person, she replied, or I was, until I realised you're a brainless idiot who's just pretending to be on a rig. Now I have no interest in you at all. Goodbye. You should have told me this, he said. I just told you goodbye, replied Cassandra. Idiot, he said, stealing my usual line. At least we agree that you're an idiot. Goodbye, she said. This was why I insulted you in the first place, and here you go again, he said. I only ask a question, and you're upset. You insulted me because you're an idiot, she said. I know that. You have no idea about being on an oil rig. Goodbye. Well, you can ask your nephew, if you think so, he said. Well, I don't insult, woman, and don't make me do so. Okay? At which point, he found himself ghosted. Again. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it. Please share it. Please comment down below. Please subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you get notified whenever a video goes live. And I'll see you again in another video.